Hello and welcome back to Satisfactory. During the last episode, we built some of this kind of starter base area here. And after the episode ended, I built this storage box here, storage container, so we could start collecting some concrete. I also collected some rods and some plates and some copper wire from these machines here. And also made some reinforced iron plates so that we would have enough to build some more constructors if we needed to. And then I went out and farmed some more biomass so we had enough fuel for the biomass burners. And we have a little bit still remaining somewhere. Did I feed it all? Oh, it's in my... Oh, it's here. Okay, good. I keep forgetting which side is which here. We have almost 800. That's pretty good. And the pod came back from the last launch, so we're able to actually now feed this with the materials that we have and launch it again. And this will give us the logistics, which includes the splitters and mergers.
Milestone reached. Conveyor belts can now merge, split, and lift to increase the complexity and efficiency of your factory. We encourage you to consider more verticality when it comes to factory logistics to streamline short-range transportation.
Thank you,
The
Ada.
productivity display will help you measure and improve the productivity of individual buildings to aid with optimization.
So we have the Mark 1 lifts and the conveyor splitters and mergers. I think that's all we gained this time. We had the lookout tower from the previous time. But I would like to... The reason I started collecting all this concrete over there in that box is I'd like to actually start laying out the area for the new... Or for the sort of, I guess, permanent base-ish. I would definitely want to do this field research because we want to get the MAM going. We'll need a bunch of screws for this, a bunch of plates, and so we will need to do all of that. Are we making plates right now? We are. We definitely want to have a bunch of plates, and then I want to switch this over eventually into making iron rods so that we can make, let's see, a constructor, so that we can make the screws. I'm going to make the screws in another constructor here. And let's see if I can find an available power pole here. That one will work. Actually, you know what? Let's not do it that way. Let's do it this way. Even though this stuff's all temporary, I don't want to make it too temporary. Okay, so once this is done making enough plates for us, we need the... Oh, we have 100 already. Okay, well, let's switch this over then to iron rods. Need that back in. I wish it wouldn't lose or throw all that stuff at me if I didn't need it. Okay, so we're going to belt these together. Did I pick the right thing? I did not. We want screws, which take rods to make screws. And then this should start making screws, hopefully. Yes. So it consumes 10. We're producing 15. So there's going to be a little bit of a backup so I can pull those out and use them for other things. But we'll let this get made while I am laying concrete. I did some thinking about this after the last episode, and I think that where I want to build is going to be out here, because this is a nice big wide open chasm here. Obviously there are things down below. I'm not sure if there are any mines down below or not, but you can see the copper is right there. Remember, we were running up and over the mountain. We actually could have come right around the mountain. And then over here, not down there, but kind of on the same level as us, is also the limestone. So I want to build the foundations out here. And we're going to build the 8x4 meter. Oh, I want to actually put that on my toolbar. Let's put those... Wrong thing. I remember how to do this. I think you just press the... Yeah, there we go. And also do the same ramp. No, I should put these on 10 and put these on 9. Okay. So I want to see where this fits as far as lining up. And actually that looks pretty good. You get up... You know what? Actually, let's build a lookout tower thingy. Where's that at? Organization. That's where it is. Build one of these. and look out here and see how this, well, looks. I think that's good. I'm just going to obviously build around this a little bit, but we're going to just build out in that direction. There's quite a bit of world out there, so there's no problem with the way that it sits, the way that it lies. My question is going to be, do I want... I need to get rid of that rock. No, actually, that's going to be perfect. You can build a miner up on top of a mine, and it works just fine. So we're going to do that. We're just going to pave the world here. If we need to do multiple tiers, we'll do multiple tiers. I'm not bothered by it. Stepping up, ramping up kind of thing to another level is fine with me. But we're just going to kind of do this type of thing here. Okay, so let me jump down. Probably going to take some damage. Yep. But I don't feel like trying to climb down, so I'll take the damage. So, crazily enough, or whatever you want to call me, building up here on top of the world means that I have to be very careful because I could easily fall. And then having to find my way back up here would not be fun. But that's how life works in Satisfactory sometimes. And of course, this concrete that we have isn't going to last very long, but that's fine. As you can see, we're almost out, and I think I should probably build a little bit wider here. I can't wait to start researching Caterium at the MAM. So I think right over there is where the limestone is. I think. Build out here like this, and I can build like this. The other thing that I'm not bothered by is the direction of the tile here. There are two, like it's not four direction rotationally symmetrical. So you can actually have these facing in different directions. That doesn't bother me. It's a bit too fiddly for me, actually. Oops. Okay. So as you can see, there's a little bit of dirt here, but I'm not bothered by that either. And our friend is alive. Okay, 6 of them, I think. Let's go ahead and pick up this center stone here and the iron patch. So we're going to get all of this mining eventually throughout the play here, because these are all pure nodes, all 4 of them. So we have a lot of iron available to us to begin with. Each iron miner here will produce 120 per minute, which we obviously can't do with our Mark 1 miners, but we'll have the Mark 2s before too long. And now that we have splitters, I actually should probably set up and get additional mining going, or additional smelting going, but that's what I wanted that platform built for. I always forget it's E to do this. And then, is it directly? It is directly accessible. So for this copper, I can actually just run it right along here and bring it out here to this once we start putting copper out here. Or I may just build the copper out on this side of this platform. Up there is that other limestone, by the way, so that'll be nice and accessible. That was a weird thing floating across the sand there. Okay, so let's go get a little bit more limestone. And not much. But I want to build out over these so that we can start mining them. Let's get up on top. And I want to do just like this. And pick that bush. Go. Yeah, I'm gonna fill it in. Once we have the chainsaw, I can actually chop that bush down if I want to. Oops, that one didn't line up right. And that's all the concrete we have. So I need a few more to get enough for miners. Hopefully we made enough. And it's enough for 2. Hopefully that is enough. I was hoping it would have made enough limestone by the time I was ready to record this episode, but alas, it did not. Is that going to be enough? I think so, but let's see what a miner looks like. Production. That's where they're at. Miner. We need concrete for this, of course, but it is plenty big enough, the platform that I've built. And I'm just going to run them straight this direction like that, and we'll just build a bunch of iron making stuff out in that direction. So, if you look at the recipes that we can make, actually, let's go over to the whatchamacallit here, the crafting bench, and we can look at the recipes. So, obviously, we want to be able to smelt the ingots, or smelt all the ore into ingots. We can make these 4 items completely out here. And so that's what we're going to start with, and then we'll deal with the concrete and these 2 copper items as we bring those items in. But I want to be able to use the iron we have to make a fair amount of these iron items. Like one belt worth of each. So the iron comes out as ore. 1 ore equals 1 ingot. And then the plates are 3 ingots to 2 plates. The rods are 1 ingot to 1 rod. And the screws are 1 rod to 4 screws. Meanwhile, the reinforced plates are 6 the reinforced plates are 6 plates plus 12 screws. So that's 6 plates plus 3 rods. And 3 rods is 3 ingots. And 6 plates is 9 ingots. If I'm doing the math right. I'm checking my brain here. 6 plates is 3 recipes, which is 9 ingots, plus the ingots we needed for the 12 screws, which is 3. So that's 12 ingots per reinforced plate, which means that on a single belt, single level 1 belt of iron ore, which is 60, we can produce 5 reinforced plates per minute, which is not a lot by any means. Okay, let's pick up some of this. Let's also go over here and make another portable miner, because we only have 1 in our inventory, and we're going to need a second one. Okay. So, miner, and I'm probably going to just square this right up with the platform, so it's a straight line there. And then the same thing with this one, like that. And all those we'll need is power, and then they magically dig through the platform into the ore. Alright, so we need smelters. Now smelter is, what's the rate on a smelter? Can we see it here without building it? No, but we can just build one. Smelter takes in 30 ore and outputs 30 ingots per minute. These are going to produce 120 to start with. 120, but we can only use 60 to start with. So I do want to be able to split this by 4, though, just so that we are kind of keeping in mind how much it's going to take once we have the Mark II belts, which I can't remember how close those are, but once we have the Mark II belts. So if we think about that, I want to be able to make... I want 4 smelters each. The mergers and splitters are... where are they at? Here they are. The splitters, they take in one and splits it in 3 different directions. So we could do this a couple of different ways. One way is to lay out your, well, either way, you lay out your smelters, say, in a row. And this, of course, I don't have my platform quite big enough yet for what I want to do here. But you lay out your 4 smelters like this, in some way. And then you can take a splitter, which I'm going to put on 5, and probably the merger on 6, just for later. One way to do this is to line it up and just put a splitter in front of every machine but the last one, of course, and just belt into the machines. The problem with that method is, and this is a potential problem, not a real problem. Oh, and you can't jump on these until you have the boots. Of course, that's right. I was going to use it as a ladder. The problem with this is that the splitter will split evenly if it can. So for right now, the 60 coming out of here will send 30 in this direction and 30 in this direction, and then this will split 15 and 15, and then this will split like 7.5 and 7.5 per minute. Well, right now we're going to be stretching. We could do this a couple different ways, I guess. We could just connect only 2 of these up right now, and then connect the other 2 up later once we have the level 2 belts, and that might be the best option. But the other option is to take the output of the miner and put it into a kind of a preliminary splitter like this. So you have the miner, output of the miner coming in like that, and these aren't necessarily belts that I'm going to use or the way I'm going to use the belts, but this is just to show the connection. Oh, right, I gotta take these apart then. And then 5, you go. And by the way, I'm just spinning my scroll wheel here to place or to rotate these splitters, and then you can connect them like this, for example. So this will split 50% and 50%, and then you connect this one like this, and the other one just like that, and then they'll split 50%, 50%. So in this way, each smelter gets exactly 25% of the output of the miner. In practice, this doesn't really matter because you're going to combine them all with a merger on the other side anyway. So in the end, you're still going to only get 60 out. So for me, the linear method is a little bit neater, uses a little bit less space. So that's the one that I prefer to use, or I generally use. Although I probably will use this sort of balanced split method somewhere along the way. Don't quote me on my own misbehaviors. So that's lined up pretty well. We could actually move the smelters a little bit closer to these splitters, and that's not lined up right. And make it a little bit sort of neater. That's not a splitter, that's a merger, Wally. Make it a little bit neater, or a little bit tighter, I should say. If we wanted... Oh, I don't need one here either. If we wanted to make this a little bit tighter, because we don't really need this much belt space here. Let me connect the belt so I can jump up on top here and use this as a shelf. So here we could do a smelter. And we need it to be the orange side. There we go. And we could even put them as close as this. There is a way to get it closer, but I actually don't like it any closer than this. And that makes basically a straight connection across. But I usually don't like them any closer than that, just because I like to be able to see the belt there. So I'm going to actually move these just a bit closer, because even though space is very large, I don't want to have to overbuild or over layout or whatever, however you want to word it. Over here. If I don't have to. Okay, so let's do iron ingots on all 4 of these. Okay. And then belts, and I'm just going to connect the first two, like I hinted at, because it doesn't really matter. But why spend the extra resources right now, other than to allocate the space by putting the smelters there? Power poles are another sort of contentious item. I like to put the power poles kind of in between two machines, and that way I have enough connections with these level 1 power poles to connect the two machines to the pole, and then also to connect the poles to each other in a line. Like that. And then we'll need to do another power pole over here someplace. And I also kind of like to make my power poles neat. This one probably could just go back here. Except that I might end up clipping in order to do that, and if that's the case, then I don't want to do it. Yeah, I don't want to clip through it. So in that case, I'm going to put the power pole in front here. Like that. And then I can probably bring this one over and do the same kind of thing over here with this smelter. In fact, or with this miner, I should say. In fact, it might be better to put these two rows of smelters directly next to each other here and bring that belt over and then in, because otherwise there'd be kind of wasted space here in between. If you lined it up evenly with this belt like right here, then you have all this space here that's kind of unused. So it might be better to just do it that way. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the splitters for this one lined up. Actually, they could potentially be that close. They could be right up next to each other. The only problem is that, let's see where this goes. Belt have to go here. Choose a conveyor pole to mark our position. And then does that clip into the machine? It does not. Okay, that's great then. And the other thing you can do with these is you can stack them, which is handy when you're trying to use an assembler, or even later with the manufacturers in the end game, because they, since they stack, you can split multiple items and put multiple items into multiple spots. Let's take this miner apart and rebuild it not squarely here. We'll build it more in this direction. Actually, before I do, let me put that foundation down there in that corner. And that one as well. Yep, I got enough. Excellent. Miner. Don't want this to clip, but I also want it to be... Where am I at here? Here's my belt. I want it to be kind of like this, I think. And then I can just connect that belt in right there. And I think I'll actually put this pole way over here. And this can be kind of like my main... Well, let's see where these build at. Let's do a smelter. I'm going to run out of stuff pretty soon. Not very soon. We want the orange input. Right there. Okay. Oh, I guess I don't want this belt connected just yet. Excellent. Okay. And actually I want to put... Alright, come on. Land on the thing. There you go. I want to put the power poles in. Oh, I mislaid all of these. One of the things that I wish this game had was a pick tool. Sort of like what the Q key does in Factorio. that you could like point at a machine, hit whatever key, and then it would just like magically give you that item to build, that building to build. That would be a nice quality of life kind of thing. All right, jump. Thank you. There we go. Nope, I want iron ingot. I'll go ahead and set these recipes even though we're not going to use them. And I shouldn't have jumped down, because now I have to jump back up eventually. Wait a minute, am I too close here? No, I'm not. Okay, good. But now I can't get around the power pole. There we go. Because these can go right there. Power lines. I never connected that. Okay, and I think I'll just put another power pole kind of here, lined up with these. There. Nope, off by one. Right there. Power line goes there. And I should probably connect them across like this. And then this will go back to this one. And into the main base here. And I think I do have. Excellent. Okay. You need a power line here. I think this will mess me up if I do it, so I'm not going to quite do this the way that I want to. Well, maybe it will. Can I still build that foundation here? Nope. Okay. I need to go grab a little bit more concrete because I only have enough for one foundation. Or all the concrete. That's fine too. Okay. And let's put a power pole in right here. Connect you up there. Disconnect you down here. I know, I shut it off. It's fine. You'll live. Okay. I didn't connect you to power. Right. The other one is going now. Okay. So, over here, take a look. You guys should be smelting ingots. You are like crazy. And that kind of gets us started. So we have enough smelters here to consume 2 full level 2 belts full of ore. But obviously only have enough for 4 smelters, and we'll have enough for 8 eventually. And these will just back up and it'll be fine. Okay, so what I'm going to do is... Hello, birdie. Is I'm going to merge these in now. How many supplies do we have left? We probably have enough. Let's do at least one side of this merger, because we need the foundations to do the other one. Okay, so mergers have 3 inputs and 1 output. So I'm going to do the same kind of thing here as we did with the smelters. So this is, so if you place the smelter first, or the whatever building first, you can actually put the merger or splitter 1 block closer. But if you put the mergers and splitters down first, then you have to put them this far apart. But I prefer them this far apart anyway, so that's easy for me. Okay, so this goes like that. Actually, I don't need that first one. It goes there. And you go there. So you construct that one. So for these, all I do is just... you can do this a couple different ways as well. I usually try to do a conveyor pole just to make this kind of neat. Otherwise, you end up with a kind of a weird angle. And I don't like weird angles. But for these, I can go ahead and connect the belts because we're not using those machines yet, so nothing extra is going to come out. But this will produce then 60 ingots per second, which is 1 full Mark 1 belt. And then out here, we can build some assemblers to make the iron plates, iron rods, and iron screws. But I think that's actually a good place to stop at this point. We kind of have a sample smelting setup going here. And in the next episode, I will have built out some more foundations, and we'll be able to continue expanding the base, including bringing in the copper and the limestone from up there and from over there. So thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.